Welcome to the Chronicles of Rome, Episode 16, Foundations of Power, Law, Order, and the Greek Shadow. By the late 4th century, Rome stood at a crossroads. The Pyrrhic War was won, its proud Hellenistic banners trampled in the dust. The Samnites and Lucanians simmered under Roman oversight, their defiance dulled but not snuffed out. The Republic's legions had proven their mettle against phalanxes and towering elephants. Its alliances had held firm against a king's ambition. Yet victory on the battlefield was only half the story. To endure, to rise, Rome needed more than swords and shields. It needed structure to harness its swelling power. It needed law to bind its restless people. It needed a soul to define its uncharted destiny. This is the tale of a republic refining itself in triumph's shadow. Institutions forged in the crucible of necessity, debts erased to heal old wounds, a culture enriched by the Greeks it had subdued, because power, unchecked, consumes itself. And Rome, in the decades after Pyrrhus' retreat, turned inward, not to rest but to govern what it had seized and to brace for what loomed ahead. Let's begin in 326, with a law that reshaped Roman society, the Lex Poetelia Papiria. Debt had long been a shackle on the Tiber's muddy banks. Picture a farmer, calloused hands gripping a plow, his fields ravaged by Samnite raids. He borrows to rebuild, but the harvest fails. Under the old laws rooted in the 12 tables, he faces nexum, debt bondage. His creditor, a patrician with a villa overlooking the forum, claims him. The farmer's labor, his freedom, even his children, become payment. His wife weeps as their home empties. His fields lie fallow, weeds choking the soil. Across Rome, plebeians, the laborers, the farmers, the sinew of the legions, suffer this fate. Their numbers dwindle as wars demand soldiers, yet leave fewer hands to sow. This wasn't new. The conflict of the orders had raged for centuries. Plebeians against patricians, the downtrodden against the elite. The Lex Licinia Sextia of 367 cracked the consulship open to plebeians, a grudging concession. But debt lingered like a plague. The Second Samnite War, ending in 304, stretched Rome thin. Victories at Bovianum and Tifernum swelled its borders, but the cost crushed the common man. Imagine the scene. Veterans limp home to charred farms, their coin purses empty, their creditors waiting with wax tablets and cold smiles. Resentment flared, torches in the night, shouts in the forum, threatening the unity that had repelled Pyrrhus's beasts. The Lex Poetelia Papiria answered this cry. Proposed by consuls Gaius Poetelius Libo Visolus and Lucius Papirius Cursor, men hardened by war, the law abolished nexum. No Roman could enslave another for debt. Creditors could seize land, livestock, or grain, but not the man himself. Picture the relief. A debtor unshackled, his wrists raw but free, stepping into sunlight. This wasn't just reform, it was a signal. The Senate, flush with triumph, refused to let division fracture its gains. Plebeians gained security, their voices softer now, their loyalty firm. The state gained an army of free men, not broken debtors, and Rome's foes, Samnites, Etruscans, Greeks, would face legions unbound, their shields gleaming with new purpose. But law alone doesn't govern a state poised for greatness. Power demands a ladder, a structure to channel ambition and tame chaos. Enter the Cursus Honorum, the course of honors. By the late 4th century, Rome's political hierarchy took shape. Not yet etched in law, that would come with the Lex Vilia Annalis of 180, but hardening into custom, refined as Rome grew from a city-state to a power spanning Italy. See it rise, a scaffold of offices, each step a test, each rung a prize. It starts with the questor. Young men, barely 30, their tunics still smelling of campfires, step into public life. They manage the treasury, count coins in the aerarium's dim vaults, or trail generals, tallying spoils from sacked towns. Early on, there were few, perhaps 4 or 8, but by the mid-3rd century, 20 questors serve yearly. Their numbers grow with Rome's appetite. More wars, more taxes, more mouths to feed. They're the apprentices of power, learning the Republic's gears amid the clink of silver and the rustle of scrolls. Next, the aedile. 4 in all, 2 plebeian, 2 curule, elected to tend the city's heartbeat. Picture them, plebeian aediles in plain robes, haggling with merchants in the Forumborium, curule aediles, purple stripes flashing, striding past cheering crowds at the Circus Maximus. They oversee markets, scales clanking, grain sacks thumping onto carts. They maintain temples, incense curling skyward from Jupiter's altar. They stage games, chariots thundering, dust choking the air. An aedile might pave a stretch of the Via Appia, its stones smoothed by slaves, or fund a festival, his name roared by the mob. Ambition burns here, but the people's eyes and the Senate's keep it in check. Then the praetor. Judicial lords, their power crackling like lightning. At first, one, the praetor Urbanus, born in 367 to ease consular loads, settles disputes within Rome's walls. By 242, a second, the praetor Peregrinus, joins him, judging foreigners in a city swelling with outsiders. They wield imperium, the right to command legions and interpret law. Their edicts, barked from cruel chairs, shape a living code, the ius civial's roots. Imagine a praetor in his tribunal, toga crisp, voice sharp as a Sabine merchant pleads his case amid the forum's din. Praetors are Rome's justice made flesh. At the peak, the consul, two men elected yearly by the Centuriate Assembly, hundreds gathered on the Campus Martius, their votes a clamor of horns and shouts. They command armies, legions marching under eagle standards. They guide the Senate, debates echoing in the Curia's shadowed hall. Their dual rule, a shield against monarchy, ensures no one reigns too long. A year passes, they step down. Unless war extends their imperium as proconsuls, a practice Pyrrhus' shadow birthed. Their names, Gaius Lucius, carved the Fasti Consulares, Rome's living history. Above them, the censor, rarest, most revered. Two elected every 5 years, 18 months to count, judge, purify. They tally citizens, sandaled feet shuffling past census tables on the field of Mars. They assess wealth, oxen lowing, coins clinking in sacks. They guard the Senate's rolls, expelling drunkards or debtors, their disgrace a public hiss. Appius Claudius Caecus, censor in 312, looms large. His aqueduct pours life into the city. His road stretches south, his name a whisper on every stone. Censors are Rome's memory, its moral spine. This ladder isn't chance. It channels ambition, patrician and plebeian, into order. The Lex Agulnia of 300 flung priesthoods open to plebeians, shattering another elite bastion. Now the Cursus offers a secular climb, but it's strict. 10 years of military service first, swords bloodied before togas donned. Age locks each step. Quaestors at 30, consuls at 42 by later law. Elections test every rung, peers and people as judges. And beside it, 10 tribunes of the plebs, elected by the plebeian assembly, their ius intercessio, a veto born of old struggles, balance the patrician tilt. Picture them, young tribunes, fists raised, halting a consul's decree as the crowd roars. Rome's elite vie for glory, but within rules, rivalries forging a state stronger than any man. Those rules reach outward, weaving citizenship across Italy. The Lex Poetelia frees citizens from chains. Other laws bind allies. Civitas sin suffragio, citizenship without the vote, grants Campanians, Sabines, Volsci the shield of Roman law. Their disputes fill praetors' courts. Their sons march with legions. Full citizenship creeps south, Fundi, Formiae, Ardea by 338, their markets buzzing with Latin tongues. Latin colonies rise, Nola's walls guard Campania, Paestum's temples gleam by the sea, Ariminum in 268 stares down Gauls from the Adriatic's edge. See them, settlers in togas, plows breaking new soil, their gates Roman, their purpose roams. By 264, this web fodera with allies, colonies as outposts, anchors an empire in waiting, its threads taut with loyalty and law. But as Rome orders itself, it gazes beyond its 7 hills. The Greeks, humbled in war, conquer in spirit. Hellenic influence sweeps north, a tide Pyrrhus unwittingly loosed. In religion, it rides the Sibylline books, oracular scrolls, Greek-born, bought, legend says, from a Cumaean Sibyl in the late 6th century under Tarquin the Proud. By the early 3rd century, 15 priests, the quindecim viri sacris faciundis, guard them, their chants a secret hum in the temple of Jupiter. Crisis calls them forth. In 293, plague strangles Rome, streets silent, bodies carted by torchlight. The Senate turns to the books. Aesculapius, god of healing, answers. A serpent slithers from a ship, claiming the Tiber island. A temple rises, white stone Greek columns, its sickbeds alive with moans and incense. In 299, war looms, the first lectisternium unfolds. Gods on silk couches, garlanded, fed roast meat as crowds gape, a Greek rite to soothe divine wrath. Apollo's temple, vowed in 431, stands prouder now, its altar smoky with offerings. Later, Magna Mater arrives, her Phrygian drums a strange pulse in Roman ears. These gods don't displace Jupiter or Mars, they join them, a pantheon widening with Rome's world. Literature trails close. Greek epics, the Iliad, the Odyssey, fill patrician villas, their scrolls unrolled by flickering lamps. Tutors from Magna Graecia, bearded stern, drill sons in Homer's verse. Senators weave Demosthenes like fire into their oratory, words sharp as Pila in the Curia. Livius Andronicus, a freed slave from Tarentum's fall, lights the stage. His Greek plays, translated, burst forth in 240 at the Ludi Romani, post-Punic War. Hear it, actors' masks glinting, lines soaring over a crowd drunk on spectacle. Rome, once a land of Latin hymns and shepherd songs, dreams in hexameter, its stages alive with Hellenistic echoes. Art bends too. Greek statues, Apollo's lyre, athletes frozen in marble, grace temple steps and villa gardens, their polish a stark leap from Rome's rough terracotta. Architecture shifts. The Temple of Apollo blends Doric grace with Roman heft, a whisper of Tarentum's lost glory. And history speaks through Quintus Fabius Pictor, born around 270, a senator, perhaps a quaestor in youth. His chronicle in Greek flows in the 240s, post-Carthage's Sicilian fall, from Aeneas' ashes to Rome's rise. It's no neutral tale. It's a patriot's shout to the Hellenistic world. Rome isn't an upstart. It's heir to a saga older than its walls. This is Rome in 264, a state hardening its laws, climbing its ladder, binding its allies, drinking deep from Greek wells. The Lex Poetelia frees its people. The Cursus Honorum orders its rulers. Citizenship weaves Italy tight. Culture, Greek culture, lends it voice and vision. Ostia's docks pulse, timber creeks, ropes slap water, ships grow from crude hulls to fledgling fleets. Rome, landbound no more, peers across the Tyrrhenian Sea. Sicily beckons, its western shores under Carthage's sway, Lilybaeum and Panormus bristling with Punic ships. Pyrrhus loosened that grip in 278, but didn't break it. Now Rome watches. A prize glints beyond the waves. But remember this, before Rome sailed to Sicily, before it clashed with Carthage's fleets, it was a republic learning to govern itself. The laws it wrote, the Lex Poetelia, Praetor's edicts, freed its citizens and bound its allies. The offices it shaped, quaestor to censor, channeled ambition into order. The culture it stole, from Sibylline chants to Fabius's Greek ink, gave it a soul to match its swords. These were the sinews of an empire yet unborn, forged not in haste, but in the slow fire of endurance. Because Rome didn't merely conquer, it endured. And in enduring, it grew until the sea itself couldn't hold it back. This has been the Chronicles of Rome. Join us next time for the First Punic War, a clash of fleets and ambition, where Rome, a land-bound power, forged the Corvus, seized the seas, and claimed Sicily. Because to rule an empire, Rome first had to sail.